And now I'm going to tell you about this new machine I've been working on for quite a number of years. This new machine is actually capable of teaching people music in a way that you never thought of before. As you probably might have noticed, you've listened to all your music on the radio and on your CDs and your records, and you've probably might have heard lots of neat things, neat drama in them, and all. And so, therefore, we have lots of different ways to teach. See, when it comes to the music teacher, they tell you all about the things you need to know about music so that you'll be able to actually you do some things with it. But you see, the trouble is, they have to work hard in teaching. I mean, a lot of music teachers are good, but when they have to work very hard, they often start to lose their kindness. And so, therefore, it's really up to us to come up with ways to kind of help us learn. Yeah, I mean, people do a lot of practicing, but even a solid week of practicing is just not enough to get things down. There's neurophysical issues that kind of prevent you from learning music because you have to have the genetics to manage kids' songs to learn almost anything, like singing in the choir, playing an instrument. So therefore, one of the things we've been able to come up with is this brand new machine. It's called the Melody Guide Monitor. It's got all sorts of things on it about music you need. It's got music heading information, it's got instrumentation information, it's got note tones and pitches, it's got rhythm and beats, it's got key signature, tire slur status, tempo status, dynamic status, accidentals, and tone status. And that basically helps you learn all about the music. We'll start here with the music heading information. As you can see, it's got the name of the music style so that you can know what it is. Not all music styles come in English names, but we do have but sometimes they can come up in all sorts of names like Japanese or Chinese or something like that. The number of instrument families we have is 15, and with them and with that we've been able to come up with 32,752 different possibilities. And that's if you count all the duos and trios and quartets and quintets and hextets and septets and octets and novitets and decatets and undecatets and duodecatets and tridecatets and quadradecatets and quintadecatets. You add them all up, and there you have it, 32,752. There are no single instrument styles of music. I mean, monophonic would just mean either the instrument or the or the or the or the singer, but that doesn't make anything stylish. You could even have one instrument and one singer. That's homophonic, but that doesn't make it make it very stylish either. There's polyphonic vocal, but if it still remains at one instrument, it, it's not a style unless by chance you you have you have an ensemble there too. Yeah, and then heterophony is like multiple instruments and singers. Then you got the name of the song. Sometimes the song has a very long name, like that one song by Ronnie Millsap, "What a Difference You've Made in My Life." That's a very long name. It's got the name of the singer or group. Sometimes the the group shows the lead singer, and it lets you know who does it all. The instrumentation information on the left-hand side tells you what type of instrument from that family is playing. It starts basically with the pipe, which is the smallest instrument, and it goes to reed, which is second smallest, then general strings, then brass, then bass, then mallet, then drums, then piano, then organ, then synth lead, and synth pad, exotic 1 and exotic 2. So basically whatever instrument in that family is playing lights up there. And that pretty much changes, between different artists. and different genres usually have the different lights lit up based on that too. If you, if any by any chance, the people have heard heavy metal before, that means one of these has got more than one instrument, and a yellow X will light up if it's not too bad. The red X will light up if it is bad. This has a way of teaching people that heavy metal is not a style of music. Then comes the note tones and pitches. On that, you usually probably see lots of neat things, like you got soprano, alto, tenor, bass. And so basically what that does is you get all these different things. You got the vocal part, which basically, as you kind of hear the song, you notice the notes kind of changing up and down, basically by that. And usually it would start with C and end on a C in height, but actually it all depends on the key signature. Whatever key signature is in, the sharps or flats will light up on the screen, and then that'll tell you kind of what to do and when it comes on. And so therefore, when you see that in the key, you can see it all light up. And the instruments usually have more than one note going at the time. Then usually, and then you got the triads and the chords on the right, which basically tells what triad or chord is usually playing during that time. Then you could know your triads and kind of what you can do. This will build on your knowledge when in time you go into music theory, that you'll be able to do it without any trouble at all. Then it's got rhythm and beats. As you can see, the top screen kind of goes with the normal. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Usually, the most you can get is usually 8 when it comes to which one gets the beat. Then, basically, with the other 3 in the middle that are off beats, see, the on beats are all red and the off beats are all yellow. The off beats would go E, and on every one of them, just like that. And whichever ones are lit up during the song is the kind of rhythm that you hear. And the star goes across each one that you hear. The second line has to do with triplets. So basically, the first square after the on beat in the red, first yellow square, that's the trip, and then the second is the let. So it goes 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, septriplet, octriplet, and it just kind of does that again. Then down at the bottom, it shows how many beats there are in that measure and what note gets the beat in the 2 large squares. In the small square, you got the drama. You got 1 for flam, 2 for rough, and 3 for roll. And then you got the name of the rhythm style in the lower red tab. That'll tell you kind of what goes on there. And then we get to the other part of the musical parts right here. You got key signature, and it usually goes C, G, D, A, E, and going in the order of sharps. And then in flats, it would go down to F, and then, well, you know the story, because it tells you, I mean, what you see on there is usually marked by a flat with the little lowercase b at the end, and then a little number symbol for sharp over there. Then underneath, it tells you whether or not the key signature is major or minor. And you got N for natural minor, yeah, H for harmonic minor, M for melodic minor, and then you get the different modes in the next screen. Then you got augmented and diminished in another area. Tie or slur status tells you whether or not the notes are tied or slurred, and it shows you the name and the notes that are tied or slurred. And the tempo status tells you how fast the song plays. It's got names basically by largo, adagio, andante, moderato, allegro, vivace. And that's retardando for slower and accelerando for faster. And then basically the number in which you'd probably hear the song lights up there. The dynamic status, however, shows kind of how loud the song is usually played. Very, very quiet is pianissimo by a triple P, and then very, very loud is fortissimo by a triple F. And then you got mezzo piano for mild but on the lower end, and then mezzo forte but mild on the louder end. Then you got the cymbals. You got staccato, which is like short detached notes, and accent, which is an open alligator mouth, and then you got DC da capo, DS del segno, then you got fine, and then coda. Coda is basically like a special ending to a song. Fine is basically where the song comes to an end, or it fades out, kind of like that. And then you got the note tone status. Yeah, and it kind of goes and you got like passing. Basically, there's one you pass by on the way up or down. Then you got neighboring, which means it kind of goes which means it kind of switches the tone status between down, or it'd be lower neighboring by the lowest end, and then upper neighboring by the top end. And then after that, basically, you know what to do. I mean, just think about how much our teachers would be able to get their work done without having to work so hard to teach you if we could do just that. See, I mean, and this kind of machine is made so you can plug it into your TV. No, not your TV, but your radio and or your stereo, and then every time a song plays, it shows you all that you've seen on the screen here. And when you see that, there you have it. There's the screen for you. And then you can eventually you can actually see what you're listening to. And then when you get your homework done and your practicing done, your teacher will be so proud of you for getting your work done. Get the heavy load off, then they won't have to do so much work to teach you. You'll eventually get to sing in the choir. You'll get to you get to play instruments, and you'll be able to do things like you promised. Well, time's up. So it's time for us to go. So goodbye.